So, we are live on multiple platforms to talk about a business quote or a quote and how we apply it to our business. So, this is Decoding Wisdom, specifically decoding business wisdom. So, how we apply this to our business. Are you ready? All right. So, say hello in the comments, either watching live or replay. Today's quote, dun dun dun, our challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. So I'm curious, when you hear this quote, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Are you like, yes, that is true? Or, yeah, I'd like it to be true, or it sounds great, but it's harder to apply. So, what do you think about a quote like this? So, what are your thoughts and perceptions of challenges? And let's talk about what these challenges look like in life, but also within business itself. So, challenges are what makes life interesting. Yes, I agree. I agree. And some of us seek challenges more than others. So if you are one that you're like, life isn't interesting unless I have challenges, that can also be a problem too. Why do we think that could be a problem? Why constantly having challenges in life could be a problem? Because I see quotes like this too, where it's like, get out of your comfort zone. And those are really great when you are in your comfort zone, and they can help you when you are challenged with being out of your comfort zone all the time. But I do think that we do also need breaks and we need rest. We shouldn't always be looking for a challenge, although, it's fantastic when we are challenging ourselves and when we are constantly in challenges to have this perception. So, this is where I love looking at these quotes because because it's different for when you're in it and when you're not in it. For when we need a different perception, perspective, and then when we don't. So, when it's talking about challenges are what make life interesting and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful, I completely agree with this. But I do think that there is time for rest and there is time for recovery, just like a warrior going to battle. If a warrior is constantly at battle and never takes a break to recover, then they will not have the energy to fight the next battle. So we do need the challenges and they do make life meaningful, but we also really need that time to rest and recover as well. So I challenge you to today look at, are you in a current stage of challenges and you have challenges that you are overcoming? Or are you in that phase where maybe you've taken your rest, you haven't picked back up your sword yet to fight another day? And using this metaphorically for in our businesses or within life, to take our life to the next level, to take our business to the next level, are we currently in a stage of we are battling the challenge? Or are we currently in a stage of like, I am recovering, I am waiting? All right. So let's look at this just a little bit deeper. So these challenges and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Now, this quote does not imply that that's the only way to gain meaning in life, right? This is not the only way to have meaning. But it's one of these quotes, and I remember this quote being up in my English class in high school. Miss Daub, she had this quote on her board pinned there, and it's the bad days that make the good days better. And, you know, having that appreciation and being able to have that comparison so that we do enjoy the good days, that those bad days are what put the good days into perspective. And I remember that quote was something so much that I needed to hear because I was going through some really challenging times that people didn't know about in high school, with some family stuff and relationships and things. And I was always one, and I think I still am one of those people that I talk about my problems with ease, but if I am in a state of quiet and I'm not talking about them, that's probably like the scary zone, because if I'm not talking about them, it means that it really is weighing on me. So I'm just one of those, like, silence is my coping strategy when it comes to those kind of things. When I get into a confrontation, I might take a deep breath and approach it very logical, and I wait and sort my emotions on the side. So I say that because we all need to know that different people process things different ways. Some people are very much in the moment, let's hash it out, or let's talk about it. And others might need time to process. So I was in one of those process stages, and I saw this quote, and it so hit me because it was like, yes, okay, these bad days that I'm having are going to make the good day even more, right? It's kind of like if we're eating candy every single day, like the candy just becomes a habit rather than a treat. So these challenges can make overcoming the challenge. This allows us to really pay attention to the journey rather than the destination. So I think this quote definitely aligns with the journey and not the destination, to welcome challenges whether rather than push them away. So challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Allows us to welcome the challenges rather than complain or push them aside. Because no doubt, right? Like when there is a challenge in our life and we are working to overcome it, we are getting stronger. We're getting stronger. So to just say, oh, I just want to start a business and I want it to be so easy, and I want it to just all flow, and I don't want to have any challenges, and I don't have the energy for that. Well, for one, that's not realistic. But this series came about in doing these, so this is day 5, is that having a business and being an entrepreneur is the biggest self-development program that you will ever be in. Because you will constantly be getting challenges. Your business will constantly be a reflection. When you see a problem there and a challenge that you have to overcome, there is self-development there, regardless. Even if you're like, oh, I don't like self-development stuff, which you probably shouldn't be watching this. So, but really talking about these challenges and welcoming them. And maybe you do welcome them. Maybe you're like, yes, I love challenges. I totally agree with this quote. I'm welcoming challenges all the time. Notice the mindset of this is a beautiful thing, but there's also always two sides to that spectrum. So there's the like, oh, I don't like challenges. And then there's the like, I accept challenges. And then there's like, yeah, I want challenges all the time. I want to grow really fast. Let's keep constant challenges going. So noticing which side that you are on that, and noticing that when you go through a challenge, last bit, when you go through a challenge, are you allowing it to be meaningful? Are you allowing that challenge to be meaningful? Or are you just like, okay, let's just do it. Let's get it over and done with. Let's learn from this and move on to the next thing. Because what I often find is if we do not fully learn from it and put meaning to it, then that problem, that challenge might keep repeating. Have we noticed this? When the same challenge, the same thing, we're like, man, I thought I worked through this, but it keeps coming back. That means we did not have full meaning. We did not fully apply the lesson that was given to us. So often, again, we pray, we hope, we meditate, we put it out into the universe, whatever your style might be, and we're like, I really want this. But like any good parent, if a kid just asks for something, do we typically just go, yeah, here you go, here it is? Most of the time, not. Most of the time, we're like, oh, there's a lesson here for them to learn. They need to build up some muscles. They need to build up some strength. Let me give you the challenge that builds the skills that you need in order to get what you want. Let me help you develop the skills you need to get what you want rather than just give it to you. So this is one of those reasons why I find it so important to look at quotes like this, is to go, that's right, I asked for something. This is something that's preparing me for that. This challenge is my gift. The challenge is the gift. The challenge is the opportunity to move to the next level. It's your challenge. It's your, like you're playing Mario, and Mario doesn't just win, right? Like he needs the blocks, and he needs the people to defeat, or the little critters to defeat, and he needs all of this stuff, and it makes it more interesting. That's why we keep playing video games. So if life was your video game, what challenges are sitting in front of you right now that you have to overcome to up level? So I would love for us to all take a moment after this ends, set a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and write down what obstacles you're overcoming right now. And look at that bigger goal and say, how is this preparing me? So it's super simple. Just note down the obstacles that you're having. Maybe you don't know the solution. That's okay. Look at your big picture goal and go, how is this preparing me for this? So that we can take a different mindset perspective of our challenges and see them as opportunities rather than punishment. All right. So this is today 5. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. I'll see you tomorrow for day 6. We're going through these quotes. I have a huge stack of them, and I'll probably order another different deck or something afterwards. But for us to look at these. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining today. If you have a quote that you'd like us to look at, drop it. Let's see it. We can review that one another day too. All right. See you all later.